Good evening, chosen ones. Welcome back to Virtual Beelzebub TV. I'm still your host, Beelzebub, but welcome to not the pit, but my temporary abode. So, I'm here to show you something interesting. I'm going to show you how distressingly easy it is to pick a lock. So, step one, to practice lockpicking, clear off all the crap from your desk, especially all the stuff that you've purchased to replace the fact that you don't actually have a personality. So, let's go ahead and get all this stuff out of the way here. Alright, so once you've cleared your space of everything except for what is absolutely vital, you can go ahead and begin. So, I have here a practice lock. It's transparent and allows you to see the pins move up and down. But the thing is, it's really not all that important to see the pins going up and down. It's mostly for demonstration purposes. And I would actually argue against training with one of these. You don't actually want to hyper-focus on the locks and where the lock pick is, because that's going to train you to stare down at the lock while you're picking it, and that's going to make it super suspicious when you're picking the lock. You want to practice not looking at the lock so you can pick it and look around as inconspicuously as possible. So I'm actually going to put tape over this so that I'm not like cheating by looking at the pins, and so I don't get into the bad habit of looking at the lock while I'm picking it. Alright, so now I have the same lock. I've just covered it with tape so that I don't get into the habit of looking at the pins, because really, you don't really need to know precisely what the pins are doing in order to pick a lock. It's actually much simpler than that. So all you gotta do is, this is a torsion wrench. It's just a bent piece of metal that is vitally springy, which means that if it twists and you twist it too hard, it's just going to spring back into place. That's why I don't think in movies really represented accurately, you really can't just use any piece of metal. It has to be spring steel specifically, because otherwise, as soon as you put pressure on it, it's going to bend and deform, not snap back into place, and then where will you be? You'll be out of a lockpick. And you need it to be out of something relatively sturdy. You can't make a lockpick out of like a paper clip. It's not going to do you any good. It's going to immediately bend under pressure. And it's really not that expensive to get one of these lockpicking kits. They're like, what, $15, $20 on Amazon? It's not that hard. My favorite lockpick is this squiggly boy right here. I don't know what it's called. I believe it's called a rake. But vitally, what it does have is it, instead of like trying to imitate the shape of a key, it's just got this rake. It's not one of those where you pick each individual pin one at a time. Complete waste of time. All you have to really do is once you get the once you get the torsion wrench in there, you get it in there, get it secure, and you want to put minimal, absolutely minimal pressure on that torsion wrench, just enough to turn the lock once you've set the pins. So go ahead and insert this pick, and you're not even going to feel for the pins. You're not even going to really look at it. You're just going to start wiggling it around. And assuming you're putting correct pressure on the torsion wrench, it'll just pop open. Do you see how quick that was? First try. You see that there were no edits in this whatsoever. I just wiggled it a little bit with a jagged piece of metal, and because I'm using the correct tools and the correct amount of pressure, the lock just pops open immediately. So yeah, padlocks, most locks are actually completely worthless. And I may or may not, if this video gets a decent amount of views, show you that you can use this method of just wiggle a bent piece of metal inside for like a couple of seconds, and you just immediately break into where you're trying to break into. That's why when I was back in the day breaking into like motels, I always said that it was completely worthless to secure your motel with a normal lock instead of a key card, because if you're using one of these to lock your motel, one of these types of locks, like manual locks, you may as well just leave them unlocked, because any thief can just get into your hotel and steal your stuff, as I did. But as just a quick little video to show that, locks are worthless. Bye! You'll hear our heavenly tune, the wind of that devil, because the jazz band started
be drinking it, a jazzy kicking it. They've got a couple of old reformers in heaven, making them go to bed at 11.